welcome to the video. I'm Professor Amanda and class has officially begun. We just showed you Kevin Solidaris' 6-1 run in the showdown, which is an incredible feat because they're playing the top players of the world. But we have with you now the winner of this month's Brawler Cup Silph Showdown, and that is CLeonardo 77, and he did a 7-0 sweep of this Brawler Cup, which means that he is now a Continentals qualifier. He has a shot to win Worlds this year. So as a gift from the Academy to our students, we thought we would bring him onto the channel real quick so he can kind of walk you through the team that he used and also his mindset of why he chose what he did.
Hi guys, and thank you for showcasing my run from last night. I just wanted to give you some info about the team that I ended up using in the Silph Arena Brawler Showdown. So this is a team that I figured out a couple of hours before the tournament actually started. So Gradient, I really wanted to use Gradient in Slot 1. It's a very flexible Pokemon, a lot of safe matchups. And Gradient makes a good core with Cofagrigus. And I also wanted to put my, Lapras into my team because I wanted to run the ABB line with Cofagrigus, Gradient, Lapras, which is very solid in my opinion. But I really needed another answer for Sableye especially, but also Cofagrigus. So that's why I put Pidgeot into the team as well. Pidgeot is a very strong Pokemon, and a lot of players have no direct response to Pidgeot. But Pidgeot suffers Steel types and Steel tanks, as well as Lapras. So that's why I wanted to put at least Machamp and another Pokemon that can deal with Steel types. So my first choice was directed to Whiscash, but I ended up using Stunfisk because I really wanted to have more solid matchups versus Pidgeot and Talonflame. So yeah, this is the team. I hope you will enjoy the battles. A special mention to my local community, the San Benedetto, and also to my friends from gobattlelog.com website, so make sure to check them out. Without any further ado, let's get into the battle, and I hope you enjoy.
Yeah, let's get into these matchups and kind of see how he does against all the other players. CLeonardo's first round is up against HurricaneKaz, who is an amazing battler from the Girls That PvP group. Shout out there. She looks like she's almost a challenger. She was ranked number 124 in the United States at this point, and running a team of Sunnycast form Whiscash, Pelipper, Cofagrigus, Venusaur, and Steelix. So let's see how they decided to play out these rounds. So to begin with, we have the Stunfisk into a Whiscash, not a great lead for CLeonardo, so he does an immediate swap out to his Shadow Lapras, and she counters with her Venusaur. CLeonardo charging up to 2 Surfs. Let's see if she chooses to shield. She does shield the first one. He overcharges a little bit. She's able to get off this Frenzy Plant, so he chooses to shield, and now he's going to throw the secondary Surf. Obviously, it's not very effective, but being a Shadow, it's going to give a little more power and be able to knock out that Venusaur. So he did win the swap, which is good. Now he knows that the Whiscash will come back in. It's going to release this Mud Bomb here. It's not going to be enough to take out the Lapras, and the Lapras will get off this Surf. And now CLeonardo has the advantage of, switch. So the Cofagrigus is going to be able to handle this Whiscash a little bit better. Also, not able to farm down this Lapras before it would throw another Surf. So obviously at this point, he's sitting in a pretty comfortable position. She switches out to a Steelix. Steelix not wanting to take these Mud Bombs from the Stunfisk. Look at that, super effective damage. This is just going to be a crunch at this stage. Oh, it's a Heavy Slam. Okay, not effective against the Stunfisk here, so CLeonardo charging up again to 2 Mud Bombs. It's going to really be knocking this Steelix down low. HurricaneKaz choosing not to shield, going to be able to get off a second move here, assuming this will be a crunch. Yes, okay. Crunch, unfortunate for her, not getting that defense drop, and this should be enough to take it out. And now have a pretty much not very high CP or health left on the Whiscash, forcing the shield. Very good swap. Going to go ahead and sack this Mud Bomb and then go ahead and shoot off this Shadow Ball to take out the Whiscash. So losing lead pretty hard, but able to get that switch advantage back, which really played to his advantage. Let's see how they decide to play out the second round. Second round leading, it's just a regular Machamp. It's not a Shadow, so it's not getting that extra powerful punch, but in return, the moves aren't hitting for quite as much damage. So this Mud Bomb still does a hefty amount. You know, Shadow Machamp charging up a ton of energy. Wonderful counting, good swap, the Mud Bomb onto the Lapras, and now the Lapras will be able to get a little bit of energy. Again, this Venusaur coming in, Venusaur chunking away. The Lapras does not want to see it here. Let's see if HurricaneKaz chooses the shield. She does. And now, let's see, it's her turn to see if CLeonardo wants to shield. He says, no, that's okay. Lapras has done its job and chooses to let it go. So let's see, we have a Machamp with 2 Cross Chops stored and the Cofagrigus. Choosing to shield it up. I assume it's going to get as much charge as possible before letting off its moves. Bringing in that Whiscash. Going up for a Shadow Ball. Will HurricaneKaz choose to shield? She doesn't. Shadow Ball taking out pretty much that Whiscash. And now this Pelipper in the back. Pelipper is a nasty one to deal with. That Machamp definitely doesn't want to see it. So the Cofagrigus is really going to have to put in some work here. Luckily for CLeonardo, he does have a shield. I assume that he'll choose to shield up whatever comes in because the Shadow Ball will be enough to take it out. And CLeonardo secures the win for game number 1. Second round, CLeonardo is up against SLAML, and check out SLAML's grit score, 94. That means that they are not losing that many matches and definitely not getting 3-0'd very often. Ranked number 95 in the world and number 11 in Chile. So let's see, ending the last season as an elite, SLAML is running a Jirachi, Sableye, Vigoroth, Dragalge, Ferrothorn, and a Mantine. So let us check out how this is going to be played. CLeonardo leading. Ooh, we get that Pidgeot in against the Dragalge, an immediate swap out. He's not winning lead very often, but seems to always have a good plan of what he plans to do if he does not win the lead. Looks like he's going to go ahead and tank this Aqua Tail, still charging up some extra energy, going for the Dark Pulse bait. SLAML does choose the shield and then swap out themselves into a Ferrothorn. This is nice. I mean, the Shadow Ball is still going to definitely hurt, but let's see. Power Whipping revealed. Everyone knows that the Ferrothorn will be running a Power Whip, so it's not that big of a mystery here. Able to get to the second move. We'll see Leonardo choose the shield. Good move, recognizing that it's going to be the big move, and that the second move has been revealed. It is a Flash Cannon. This makes the most sense because it does the best against other grass ones, which are normally in that slot. But now this Pidgeot is loaded with energy. Gonna go ahead and do the Brave Bird, not baiting, and it's called. The Dragalge still chunking away here. And a swap out to a Vigoroth, which is interesting. I guess the Vigoroth does not want to be paired against the Pidgeot. That makes sense, but it doesn't have that great of matchup against the Stunfisk either, with the counters being resisted. And also the Stunfisk has quite a bit of energy, going for a Mud Bomb and now a Discharge, bringing this Vigoroth nice and low, even if the Body Slam takes it out, which I don't think it even will at this range. It's just going to give a little bit of extra farm for that Pidgeot. So I think CLeonardo's sitting in a pretty good position, immediately swapping out into that Pidgeot. I'm going to go ahead and shield this move, I assume. Pretty late shield there. And then, wasn't sure if he was going to make it to the Brave Bird, so went for the Feather Dance. Will this be enough? Yes, it will. Okay, CLeonardo taking game number 1 against SLAML. Let's see how SLAML, if they are able to adapt to this. So again, the swapping out to the Cofagrigus. This time SLAML has an amazing answer for it, but since CLeonardo swapped first, enough to get that Shadow Ball off, doesn't call it, and oof, that Sableye took a Shadow Ball to the face. CLeonardo definitely going to shield this up because he's now going to be able to Shadow Claw down that Sableye and win switch. And also get that Sableye out of the way. Going again for the Dark Pulse against the Dragalge here. Let's see what SLAML, again, choosing to shield. And gosh, Coppergregus is just a spammy beast, able to get to the Shadow Ball before going down, but SLAML says, you know what? This Dragalge is worth saving, and goes ahead and double shields it, and now has a pretty loaded Dragalge here. Gonna go ahead and Aquatail bait an immediate swap out. Oof! This is not necessarily what I want to see, but the Pidgeot is pretty frail in this league, having to choose to shield this Body Slam. Vigoroth getting to 2. Let's see what happens here. Taking it down pretty low. I assume CLeonardo will Brave Bird. Yes, indeed. But unfortunately, that's going to bring its defenses nice and low. And this Dragalge takes it out with the Dragon Tail. And then I think we're going to see the big move here. Will it be enough to take out the Greedent? Greedent is also pretty... Nope, not quite. But unfortunately... For CLeonardo, I doubt this Body Slam will be enough to take out the Dragalge, and this Dragon Tail went through, brought it down. So they are tied now, 1-1. I think this will be a really interesting match, trying to figure out what they're going to bring. Obviously, recognizing that the Dragalge is playing for SLAML very hard. I wonder if we'll see the Shadow Lapras come in. But then, obviously, with the Shadow Lapras in, the Vigoroth has a lot of play. So, okay, yeah. Round 3, here we go. Mantine into the Coppergregus. CLeonardo probably expecting that they maybe would lead with the Vigoroth. But this is a pretty even matchup. Looks like there's a little bit of mutual lag. The energy went through, but obviously it's a little bit harder to count when things like this happen. Taking a Bubble Beam and then switching out immediately. Both of them, one into the Dragalge, also into the Pidgeot with the Gust going through. Aquatail, not enough to take it out. Feather Dancing, at least CLeonardo's thinking, if I can't take it out, then at least I'm going to make sure that the damage is not going to be as bad as what's coming in. Ooh, he doesn't want to lose switch, so he's going to go ahead and go up, recognizing he can barely take out the Dragalge with these Gusts, and probably going to Brave Bird whatever comes in. Going to be that Mantine. Will SLAML shield? He does, knowing that, yeah. Goodbye, Pidgeot. So waiting out the switch timer, then going ahead and bringing in this Stunfisk. Going to do well, although the attack moves of the Mantine are pretty good against the Stunfisk, and the Mantine did have a little bit of an energy advantage. Unfortunately, not wanting to take this discharge, choosing not to shield, Sableye in the back, knowing that against the Coppergregus, it's what it wants, but unfortunately for the Sableye, this Stunfisk still has a lot of health, pretty spammy. He's going to have to do a couple foul plays to take it out. He doesn't want to shield because he knows that the Coppergregus has a Shadow Ball, but at this range, those Shadow Claws are going to be enough to take out the Coppergregus as well. So, yeah, obviously choosing to shield. So it looks like a little shield there. And at this range, probably just going to go ahead and Shadow Claw down, not wanting to waste any moves. There's potential, obviously, most of you know, if you throw, there's a chance that the opponent can sneak in an extra fast move. And in games like this, when, it really could come down to the wire, you don't want to give them any advantage. So CLeonardo, recognizing that he could take it out with just the fast moves, chooses to do so. So going 2-0 so far. I mean, spoiler alert, we already know he went 7-0 in this tournament, but it's really fun to see how he chooses to go about it. Round number 3 against Rochago, 87 from Portugal, the top 3 player in Portugal, already a challenger, running a pretty standard team. Rainy Sea, if you've been watching the channel at all, you know that Count Xavius is very, very fond of the Rainy Sea. It's his bay, so he really likes to see when people are using it. Then Sableye, Vigoroth, Dragalge, Tropius, and the Mantine. We've already seen how a lot of these play against each other, so CLeonardo probably feels fairly comfortable with the lineups, but let's see how they decide to play it out. Starting off the Greedent against the Dragalge, this is fairly even since Greedent's pretty spammy and also a thick boy. These body slams going to be coming in fast. Choosing to charge up to 2 and going to go ahead and probably take this Aquatail. Oh, no, choosing to shield it up. Okay, just going to try to get as much energy as possible, knowing that the the Dragalge also will have to shield if it wants to stay in this. So going ahead, charging up one more, that Dragon Tail going through, but this Body Slam will be enough to take it out if they choose not to shield. And, ooh, CMP here. CLeonardo choosing to let the Aqua Tail go through, knowing that it won't take him out. And let's see what RochaGo decides to do. He does not shield going down, and CLeonardo has one switch. Coming in with the Sableye. Oh, those Shadow Claws not very effective against the normal typing, and CLeonardo's able to get to a crunch. Worst case scenario for Rocha, as also the defense fell. Coming in with Gust. Oh, looks like CLeonardo just really had a good read on this. Obviously these counters from the Vigoroth not doing much damage at all. Going for the Bulldoze, as it is the more heavy hitting move. Unfortunately, it's still pretty weak against a full health Cofagrigus, and is going to be able to get to 2 Dark Pulses to take out this Vigoroth. Let's see what they decide to do. Yeah, I think at this point, still, even if it's a Bulldoze, which it's not, at least Leonardo knows that he's fitting into a pretty good spot here, because this Gust Pidgeot's going to do heavy work against the Sableye. So Rocha able to get to a return. Look at that damage right off of the Pidgeot there, but the Brave, oh, going to have to shield this foul play. Going to be able to Brave Bird, and then I think the Gust will even be enough to take out the Vigoroth, even with its defense dropped. Yep. So there goes game number 1. Game number 2, we have the Stunfisk against Tropius. Not a great lead for CLeonardo. Swaps up to the Cofagrigus, which still loses to the Tropius, but I guess he figured he has a plan for this. Unfortunately met by a Sableye, which is, the Cofagrigus' hardest counter on the team, blocking up the Shadow Ball, and now looks like RochaGo is kind of leading. CLeonardo also choosing to shield because they want to preserve switch, double shielding, but still I think if Rocha chooses to shield as well, they could potentially have it. Let's see what they choose to do. CLeonardo's almost at 2 Dark Pulses. Oh, not able to get to it before Shadow Claw down. And let's see what CLeonardo chooses to do. Gonna go ahead and bring in that Stunfisk, as we talked about, very spammy. But with no shields left, return, brings it to half health. Gonna go ahead and let the Sableye go to this Gust Pidgeot. And now we have neither one is a great response, but CLeonardo choosing to go for the Feather Dance to lower, I mean, the Tropius obviously doesn't want to see this this flying bird, as it's one of the only flying types that is kind of weak to other flying types. But this is not a great position for CLeonardo to be in. Able to get to this Feather Dance, which will be enough to take out this Vigoroth. An immediate swap out to the Tropius, but it looks like CLeonardo doesn't have as much health as he would need to take down a fully healthy Tropius, even if it gets to another discharge, which it's not able to. This Leaf Blade should be enough to take it out, and then the Pidgeot just does not have enough health. So RochaGo, good calling CLeonardo's lineup, and obviously we know he's going to win the 3rd, but let's see how he does it. Cofagrigus lead into Vigoroth. That's exactly what he wants to see. This Vigoroth going to go ahead and punch away at it. Obviously, with the Shadow Ball being resisted, CLeonardo is still just going to go ahead and charge up as much as possible. This 2 Dark Pulses is enough to take out the Vigoroth, but at the same point, he just wants enough energy that when he takes it out, that it'll be able to throw something at the second thing that comes in. The Bulldoze takes the Cofagrigus, about to half health, and RochaGo choosing to shield up the Vigoroth to maybe try to win switch here. CLeonardo falling for a Body Slam bait. That doesn't feel good as the Cofagrigus, but able to... Oh, this is so tough. This is just going to be another Body Slam, not enough to take out the Cofagrigus, and he's going to be able to go ahead and take it out. Sableye coming in, still able to get off this Dark Pulse. Will RochaGo shield? It does, and now we have a Sableye in a pretty decent position. Unfortunately, Sableye doesn't do that great against either one of the backline. It's not that they're bad matchups, but they're not great either. Getting the return off, that is huge. And then coming in with the HurricaneKaz Swarm, unfortunately, without a shield, CLeonardo's Brave Bird from this is going to do a heavy damage. And even though HurricaneKaz Swarm has a more favorable matchup against the Lapras, CLeonardo has a shield. Choosing to shield up this Thunder, good call. And it's going to go ahead and Ice Shard down the HurricaneKaz Swarm and throw the Surf. I thought he was going to Skull Bash the Sableye. I was like, not a good call. But yeah, 2 Surfs just to be safe. Not necessarily needed as the Sableye was fairly energy dry throwing that return. But that is definitely enough to secure the win for CLeonardo. Going 3 games here. Let's see what he's going to do for Game 4. Game 4 against HollowPurple, who is from the United States, was a pretty nice spice index there, 35. Mine's 39 right now, I don't want to brag, but enough about me. Already a challenger, doing really well, running a team of HurricaneKaz Swarm, Sableye, Toxicroak, which is really good for as far as the fighting roles go, beating all the other fighters. Machamp definitely doesn't want to see it. Dragalge, Dugong, and a Shadow Lapras. So let's see how they decide to play out these rounds. Ooh, look, both legends as well. So not great for the Toxicroak, so an immediate swap out by HollowPurple into a pretty safe swap of the Dragalge. Unfortunately met by the Shadow Lapras. The Shadow Lapras will have to shield here though, because if it was an outrage it would be enough to take it out. Unfortunately for CLeonardo, he was Aqua Tail baited. And then also HollowPurple is choosing not to shield, knowing that it was going to go down, but at the same point going to come back in and counter down this Lapras. Unfortunately, able to get to another Surf, and HollowPurple has to shield it up because Shadow Lapras is just a dangerous beast. Immediate swap out to Continental. HollowPurple responds with his own Shadow Lapras, and now it's CLeonardo's turn to kind of shield up these Surfs. So getting to the Dark Pulse here, let's see what HollowPurple decides to do. Gonna block it up, and then CLeonardo answers with something that the Lapras does not want to see, which is the Stunfisk. However, look how that super effective Surf does a lot. CLeonardo's counting is perfect. Right here, gonna go ahead and get off this Discharge, will be enough to take out, ooh, not quite, okay. Gonna throw in this Mud Bomb. Whew, it's down to the wire. And then in comes the Toxicroak. But again, yeah, against this Cofagrigus, the Mud Bomb's not going to do a lot. And he's going to be able to get to the Shadow Ball, which should be enough to take out. Ooh, never mind. Did I speak too soon? Is it going to go down? No. Nope, still able to get to the Shadow Ball. Very close, though. Really well played by HollowPurple. And CLeonardo just squeaks by with barely any HP left, but still, a win is a win. Let's see, speaking of winning, let's see who does it for game number 2. We have the Pidgeot versus against Dragalge. Normally, CLeonardo switches out. Okay, he does. It's just a little bit later, swapping into his Stunfisk. And met by a HurricaneKaz Swarm. This is interesting because obviously both moves are super effective against each other. These Weather Balls come in very quickly, so it's enough to take down the Stunfisk, and obviously this Water Guns are doing a lot. Going for a Mud Bomb bait here. Will HollowPurple fall for it? Choosing to, yes, and man, this is down to the wire for both of them. CLeonardo choosing to let the Stunfisk go. Gonna come in, I assume, with whatever and just get a lot of farm. So yep, gonna go with the Pidgeot. Able to gust down this. And now let's see if he chooses. He's gonna go ahead and let this Aqua Tail go through. And is he gonna go for the Brave Bird or is he gonna go for the Feather Dance bait? He is Brave Birding. Let's see if HollowPurple chooses to shield. Choosing to shield, so an immediate swap out to the Cofagrigus, which is met by the Toxicroak. Not great. I think, yeah, if you see Leonardo here, you're just kind of grinning and you're saying, yeah, this is fine. I'm going to charge up a little bit extra. Shadow Ball is going to definitely be enough to take out the Toxicroak. Throws before the next Mud Bomb goes off, and now he has enough energy that he's going to be able to throw at this Dragalge when it comes in. This is also just an Aqua Tail, but going to go ahead and shield it up just to make sure he can get as enough energy as possible. Still over farming just for the fun of it. And Gonna go ahead and let the Shadow Ball take out the Dragalge, winning game number 2. If you watch the channel, you know, for the sake of time, normally if they win 2 games, we don't show the third. So we will move on to round number 5. Round number 5 against someone with the best name in the game, Party Marty 18. Party Marty, very high challenger at this point, ranked number 6 in the United States and number 42 globally. I mean, he was an elite last season. We see a lot of Party Marty, actually. He's a very good competitor, running a very fun team here. We have a Qwilfish, Sableye, Vigoroth, Quagsire, first that I've seen the Quagsire in this game, Tropius, and a Steelix. So let's see what this is doing. I'm hoping we can kind of see some Qwilfish action here, if running poison or if it's running water. Let's see if it comes up. Not a great lead for Party Marty. This Vigoroth into the Cofagrigus, but not wanting to switch out because Cofagrigus with an energy advantage really hurts a lot of the backline here. So let's see. I'm going to go ahead and take these Dark Pulses. I assume this is a Bulldoze just to get as much energy off as possible. And Party Marty charging up a lot of extra. This Dark Pulse probably will be enough to take it out if it chooses not to shield. Oh, not quite. Okay. And a very nice swap by CLeonardo onto the Greedent, catching this Bulldoze, and in comes the Qwilfish. We see it's the Poison Fast move, which means it's going to get to its charge moves very quickly. Unfortunately as well, we know Greedent is like the spammiest monster, and also is going to get to its charge moves very quickly. So this Body Slam is going to come through, and Qwilfish is not the tankiest of Mons, so having to choose to shield up again. Gonna go ahead and I assume there's a ton of energy, probably gonna shield one more time so not to lose it. Yep. And now we have to see, we'll see Leonardo be able to win this match. Are they gonna shield as well? Falling for an Aqua Tail bait, unfortunate. However, this Body Slam will be enough to take out the Qwilfish, and an immediate swap it looks like into Lapras no matter what it is. Shadow Sableye coming in. I'm gonna go ahead, counting off until gets to it. The Surf is going to go through here. It's obviously not going to be enough to take out the Sableye, but we'll see. Sableye is maybe at a return. Nope, at a foul play. Okay. Going double foul play here, which will be enough to take out the Lapras. Unfortunately for Party Marty, the Sableye is very low, and so is this Vigoroth. Choosing to throw out the Dark Pulse right before the Body Slam could even go off. Not that it would have knocked it out at this point, but the Cofagrigus takes down both the Vigoroth and the Sableye at the end, securing game 1 win for CLeonardo. Game number 2, we have Cofagrigus against a Steelix, so an immediate swap out to the Shadow Lapras. Obviously these Surfs are going to be doing pretty hefty damage, but we'll see now what the Steelix is running. Normal moves are Crunch and Earthquake. I'm going to go ahead and take a Crunch, no debuff, and then a swap out to the Sableye, but now CLeonardo is at double Surfs, choosing to farm up a little bit extra, getting a little greedy, choosing to not throw, and Party Marty's able to get to a foul play, but now CLeonardo's at double Surfs, so he'll probably win switch advantage here. Let's see what Party Marty decides to do. Not shielding. Okay. Very little health left on the Sableye, but the Sableye is pretty loaded. Gonna go ahead and choose to come in with the Greedent to soak up this foul play, as it'll do better against the Greedent than it would against the Cofagrigus. Now this was the matchup that CLeonardo was kind of trying to avoid, but it's gonna have to deal with it right now. Taking this Crunch, super effective. Oh, not only that, but the defense has fallen. So let's see what Party Marty decides to do here. Not blocking the Shadow Ball because he knows that the defense drop has kind of affected this Cofagrigus, and still throwing the Crunch right before it dies. Hey, chip damage is better than nothing. Going ahead and getting a couple Dragon Tails off on this Greedent. And I think Party Marty's in a good spot here. Even though CLeonardo has 2 Body Slams stored, these Bullet Seeds are obviously doing nothing to the Tropius, who is also grass, and is able to throw this Leaf Blade, getting the last shield from CLeonardo, who is now choosing to throw a Crunch, hoping to maybe get a defense drop on the Tropius. But let's see. It's going to be a race. think Party Marty has secured the win here, going with another Leaf Blade, which will be enough to take out the Greedent. Alright, moving on to game 3, 1-1 right here. Sableye into the Pidgeot. So an immediate swap out from Party Marty's side to the Vigoroth, which is met by the Cofagrigus. This line from the beginning was just well called by CLeonardo. Vigoroth being one of the best safe swaps in the game, but it's now being recognized, especially in this cup, and that was the main reason I think Cofagrigus became such a popular pick. And so yeah, when Party Marty switched into to the Vigoroth, CLeonardo knew that he immediately was going to most likely win this, as there's really not a big way that Vigoroth will win this swap advantage, and now CLeonardo will be able to put his lineup well together. Able to get to this Shadow Ball. Will he choose to shield? Ooh, he doesn't. Does a decent amount of damage onto the Sableye. Sableye now has a ton of energy though, so depending on what he wants to do here, very tough decision. Trying to read what Party Marty could be bringing in the backline. Is it that Tropius or is it the Quillfish? We'll see. It's the Quillfish, so gonna go ahead and swap into the Lapras here. Sludge Wave's obviously gonna do a big amount of damage to a Shadow Lapras, but able to call it correctly, and just gonna head and charge up a ton of extra energy. Party Marty does have 2 shields. Will he use it on this Quillfish? We'll see. Look at that, look at that. Oh my goodness, that Lapras almost taken out. Gonna shield up the first, shield up the second. We'll see. Got a poison jab through, so it's gonna poison jab down. Oh my goodness. What's happening? Oh, just an Aqua Tail. Not enough to take it out. Oh no, oh no. Oh, Party Marty. Trying to catch a charge move, I think, on the Sableye, but CLeonardo was very patient there, just continued to gust down, and with the Shadow Claws doing no damage to a normal typing, able to get to that Brave Bird, take out the Sableye with 1 HP left, able to throw the Brave Bird, which would be enough to take out the Quillfish. Those were impossibly close games, super well played by both opponents. Oh man, not much you could do in that scenario. That was a really good game. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. We're now in round 6. Just for the record, CLeonardo has gone 5-0 so far, barely losing any matches as well. I mean, he's mostly 2-0'd a lot of his opponents. A couple of them have managed to get game 2 off of him. He's now playing Cool Kid 4560, who recently won in the My PvP Academia Cup and got a cool trophy. So if you are interested in getting a trophy and competing in Silph, check out our channel. We hold monthly tournaments, and they're usually 7-rounders, so good practice. Okay, so anyway, Cool Kid, he's pretty cool. It's good. Challenger, 43 Spice Index. I'm really excited to see these games. He's brought the most interesting lineup. We have a Greedent, a Sylveon, Frostlass, Drapion, a Meganium, and a Shadow Lapras. So I think that 3 of these we haven't seen yet in the cup, being the Sylveon, the Frostlass, and the Meganium. And also Drapion is just such a good pick. It's kind of like an off-meta thing that does well against a lot of the lineups. I've been using it as a safe swap and doing it to a decent amount of success in this cup, and I'm anxious to see if Cool Kid will do the same. Also, just kind of anxious to see if this Meganium has any play. But okay. For CLeonardo, not the lead that they're hoping for. Frostlass is going to do very well against the Pidgeot. So using Greedent as a safe swap, going to go ahead and tank this Avalanche, which does like 60% health, coming in with the Drapion. But yeah, the Greedent has stored up a lot of energy, going to get off a lot of body slams. This looked too soon to be a crunch, but nope, it is, okay. And it is enough to take out the Greedent. Boom, okay. This is not a great position for CLeonardo to be in. Man, Drapion just so quick to its moves, going ahead and charging up a little bit extra, doing some good counts on the Gust to not let too many go through, crunching, and then able to throw off another one. CLeonardo has to shield, and then I assume at this point he's just going to farm down the Drapion, yes, and now going to bait with the Feather Dance on the Frostlass. Let's see if Cool Kid falls for it. He does not, but the attack harshly fell. Just going to probably go ahead and try to farm down. switching in to the Sylveon versus the Lapras. Lapras going up for double surf here, but not before the Sylveon gets to a Psyshock. Obviously, CLeonardo choosing to shield this up because he does not want to lose all this energy that he just put onto his Lapras. Throwing one surf, not being didn't get shielded, saving both shields for the Frostlass here. Coming in, taking out the Lapras with the... Man, this is just super well played. Okay, so Brave Birding now. I'm obviously going to shield this up and then just being able to fast move farm down. Cool Kid keeping a cool head there and finding the win cons, taking out CLeonardo's team. Even though, I mean, like, theoretically, the Greedent and the Lapras do decent against the Frostlass. Just recognizing his win conditions and very well played. Let's see how they do for game number 2. We have that Greedent against the Frostlass again. This time on more even energy. This leans a little bit better towards the Greedent, going ahead and charging up a ton of energy here, throwing this Crunch. Super effective. Doesn't get the debuff, but he doesn't have to shield the Avalanche because he knows that he can still get to a ton of extra moves, forcing the Frostlass to shield. Let's see if they choose to do so. This Cool Kid does not. He lets the Frostlass go down. And CLeonardo does an immediate swap out to this Pidgeot against the Drapion. Obviously, these Gusts are doing a hefty amount of work, but we talked about it before. Drapion is just spammy, spammy, spammy. So going to go ahead and take out this Pidgeot if CLeonardo chooses not to shield. He does shield, and now it's his turn to start throwing some moves. Just a Feather Dance. But unfortunately for him, gonna have to shield again. The Drapion getting to 2 moves and switching out with just, I don't know if this was a great move, with just a little bit of health left. I guess he didn't want to get completely farmed down, but now we have a Charm user that is being a little less charming because its attack has been dropped a little bit, and now it is CLeonardo's turn to kind of have a definitive answer for a lot of these things. Even though he is shieldless, this is not going to hurt as bad. With the attack harshly falling, I don't even know if this Psyshock will be enough to take out. It is not. I'm going to go ahead and be able to take out both the Drapion and the Sylveon with this Shadow Lapras. Guys, I don't think we're going to see the Meganium. Game 3, we have the Spammy versus Spammy here. Let's see, both of them charging up a little bit of extra energy. The Greedent able to get to these body slams a little bit quicker, and also obviously doing more damage to the Dark type than throwing the Crunch. So, Cool Kid throwing the Crunch does not get the defense debuff. This body slam will not be enough to take it out, but will he be able to get to another Crunch before he will? This is not enough to take out the Greedent either. Unfortunately, I think as far as Spammy Mons go, the Greedent kind of has the win here. Ooh, but an amazing swap by Cool Kid, catching the body slam on the Frostlass for a not very effective move. And now CLeonardo has a pretty decent answer to the Frostlass in the Shadow Lapras. Cool Kid has to throw the Shadow Balls here, otherwise it's not going to get very effective. Not even bothering to bait because he knows that if the bait is called, it's not going to do anything to the Shadow Lapras. Shadow Lapras able to get to 2 surfs here. Cool Kid just deciding, nope, it's going to go ahead and try to get to this Shadow Ball again. The Shadow Ball is going to do hefty damage. Okay, so CLeonardo choosing to double shield, and Cool Kid with these cool swaps. Getting this Crunch off on the Shadow Lapras, but the Shadow Lapras now has a lot of energy. The Frostlass is basically dead, which is great for CLeonardo's Pidgeot in the back, and almost at a double surf here for the Lapras, which is going to do great against the Sylveon. Obviously, this Gust Pidgeot is also going to do great against the Sylveon. So let's see. The Psyshock will be doing enough to take out the... Nope, not quite. I need to learn my Pidgeot matchups. Jeez. Able to get this Feather Dance off. Yeah, this is still going to be really close. But this Body Slam going through, taking out Oh my goodness, switching again, catching the second body slam on the Frost Blast, enough to take it out, but oh, the Lapras just had a little bit too much energy. Really well played by Cool Kid with those swaps, but fortunately for him, CLeonardo still being able to pick up the win, keeping a calm, cool, collected head as well, and just securing that victory. On to the final round. This was obviously the big one for the tournament. If CLeonardo won this, he was 7-0. I think he was the only one in the tournament at this point that could have been so. So it was up to Ben Pro 0205 to see if he could stop the sweep. Again, with this grit score. Look at this player. #1 of Mexico, #2 in the world, almost an ace by just the second cup. So, I mean, this guy is obviously a great player. Sorry, I had to switch the vertical side things real quick because that was not the team. But Benja, maybe it's Ben? We'll call him Benja just for fun. Benja is running Slurpluff, which is a fun pick. It's one of the Charmers that has some really interesting charge moves with the Flamethrower and the Energy Ball, which does pretty good damage to a lot of the things that it's already fearful against. So if the Slurpluff has an energy advantage, it's a pretty dangerous mon to go against. A Sableye, Pelipper, which we've seen as a wonderful safe swap and does well against most of the grasses. Dragalge, Ferrothorn, and Steelix. So we kind of have a double steel team going on here. But that's obviously not what you want to see if someone is using a fighter like Machamp. So it'll be interesting to see how Benja plays around CLeonardo's team composition. And the same point, that fighter does not want to see the Slurpuff, so we'll see how this goes. This is a pretty even matchup. Ferrothorn going very quickly with those Bullet Seeds as well, and also being able to get to these moves just as quick as the Cofagrigus gets to its moves. CLeonardo going ahead and throwing that Shadow Ball immediately, not going with the Dark Pulse bait. It does not get shielded, but is going to be able to... It's going to have to shield itself if he doesn't want to get taken out with his Power Whip. Ooh, and speaking of baited, getting baited himself with a Mirror Shot. Unfortunately for Benja, there was no attack debuff here. And switching out immediately to a Steelix, being greeted with a Greedent. Again, fairly neutral. These Body Slams would do nothing to the Steelix, but these Crunches will start to chunk away. And speaking of getting the drops, then now we have a defense drop brought to you by the Greedent, straight to the Steelix here. And we'll see, is he going to try to go straight to Earthquake? Is he going to go Crunch? Going to go straight Earthquake, does a decent amount of damage, switching out to that Slurpluff, which is going to take a Body Slam to the face. But this Charm is enough to take down the Greedent, and now we will see what they're choosing to do. A double shielded Slurpluff is a pretty interesting and dangerous mon. Unfortunately, dangerous as net spammy. Slurpluff is not the heaviest of weight. I mean, Mud Bomb is not that big of a move. Look how much damage it did to the Slurpluff. Yeah, choosing to shield up once, coming in with that Cofagrigus, which will be just shadow clawing down the Slurpluff. No energy or no health left, but able to throw the Shadow Ball. Gonna have to shield. Oh, okay. Benja decides 2 shields. You know what? I'm gonna save them for the next round, and next round I'll have 4. I think that's how that works, right? So let's see if Benja can use all 4 in this one. Not a great start. The Ferrothorn still being part grass does not want to see the Flyers as much. Safe swap into Pelipper, met with the Lapras. You almost have to go Hurricane because these Weather Balls are going to do nothing. The Shadow Lapras charging up a ton of energy all the way to 100. Go ahead, throwing these Surfs. Not shielded, but let's see what he chooses to do. So much energy on this Weather Ball, as you can see, not very effective. And now CLeonardo is almost out of Skull Bash, going for the Skull Bash against the Ferrothorn. This is interesting because it's not a very effective move, and I don't know if you actually want a big defense gain against the Ferrothorn here. But I guess he's deciding chip damage is chip damage. Mirror Shot not able to take it out with that defense buff, and able to get off that Surf as well. Now the Ferrothorn is almost dead. Switching out again immediately when that Gust Pidgeot comes in. Steelix against the Pidgeot. Going for the Feather Dance bait. Let's see if Benja falls for it. Does not. Again with these shields. And just choosing to Dragon Tail. It's Dragon Tail against Gust here. Obviously Gust not very effective against this ground steel typing. Crunch It's not that effective either, though, when it's been feather dance and all of this attack energy is being wasted. It's not as effective as it could be. Even though these crunches are super effective against the Silph, as you can see, it's not doing that much damage. CLeonardo choosing not to block very much. But Benja coming back in with that Ferrothorn, which still had some energy, getting Mearshot baited again. Throwing this Dark Pulse, which is shielded. Let's see. This is another Mearshot again. I think there's no way he would get to that quickly. No, Power Whip. Jeez, I just can't count. So let's see what he chooses to do. Brave Birding here. Ooh, not blocked. This is so close. You know what, Benja Pro saying? You know what? I don't even need these shields. Able to take out the Pidgey out there. They are now 1-1. Oh my goodness, here we go. This is the final of the final, game number 3. Leading Silph into a Dragalge. Okay, interesting. Something we haven't quite seen yet. An immediate swap out to its safe swap Greedent here, getting a ton of energy, and now trying to catch that body slam it looked like on the Ferrothorn, but CLeonardo going very calm and collectly, going for the crunch. Got the defense drop, not great for Benja Pro here, going for another crunch, and at this rate, we'll be able to take out the Ferrothorn if they choose not to shield soon. Let's see what Benja decides to do. Not going to shield at all. Will this Power Whip be enough to take out? It is not enough, and this Greedent is now, I assume, just going to go ahead and try to farm down. It can't get there because this Mearshot will be enough to take it out. But CLeonardo says, that's okay. I'm going to use this as a chance to farm. Both of these Pokemon coming in, very spammy Pokemon. This is also just a Mearshot. And which is going to do nothing, not even the attack drop, and CLeonardo's in a decent spot against this Dragalge again. Obviously these Dragon Tails doing a decent chunk of damage that this Aqua Tail will not. CLeonardo choosing to shield it up anyway because it wants to get off some charge moves against this dragon. This Dark Pulse doing a decent amount of damage. This Aqua Tail going through. No, not Aqua Tail, getting outraged. And now if you're in this position, you maybe aren't feeling the best if you're CLeonardo. Aqua Tail is effective move against this. Oh no, but what we have in the back is a Pelipper. Okay. So the Pelipper is going to go ahead. Double shielded Pelipper. Obviously these weather balls are going to be coming in fast, and they are super effective against the Stunfisk. But this, I mean, as we know, the weather balls have sort of a damage drop. Choosing to shield again, able to get to the third discharge. This is huge. This is enough to take out the Pelipper, but he still has to deal with the Dragalge in the back. What will happen? Neither one of these moves are very effective. Oh my goodness, able to get to the Mud Bomb right before the Dragon Tail takes them out. And the game, the end, all of the gold goes to CLeonardo, 7-7. My goodness, victorious. Congratulations again. We'll see you in the Continentals. We hope you do well. Yeah, my goodness, I'm really impressed with. I obviously love doing the showdowns because you really just get to see high quality players playing against some of the best people in the world and some really interesting team compositions. I hope you guys like this video. We're at the end now. Check us out on Twitch if you haven't already. We stream things like the Showdown as well as Gym Breakers every month, where the top 8 players-ish from a lot of countries of the world compete to see who is the best country in that month's meta. Check us out on Twitter. And once again, as always, thank you to our Patreons. You guys make our world go round. We'll catch you guys in the next video.